Even though I used the words get over in the title, those aren't words that I use in my personal life or with the clients that I work with. And that's because the words get over, I find them dismissive and minimizing, and they also imply that someday it's going to be as though this infidelity never happened to you. And I'm afraid that that's not the case. This has happened, it has hurt you, it has changed you, and it's going to be a part of your story. However, just because there's some things that you can't get over, it does not mean that you have to let them hold you back. So maybe instead of how to get over being cheated on, this should be titled How Not to Let Being Cheated On Hold You Back. So the first part of moving on from infidelity is being what I call patiently persistent. So the patience comes in because it takes time, probably more time than you wish, but it's going to take time for those memories to fade, for some of that residual anger and bitterness to begin to dissipate. But it's not just a waiting game. If you're just waiting and not doing anything, actively to make yourself better, you're not gonna find that you're moving on very quickly. So you also have to make this a priority in your life. You have to be persistent in your desire to get better and really make the inroads to do so. And it's not fair, Unfortunately, somebody else made decisions that hurt you, and now the responsibility to do the healing, though, lies with you, because they're not going to be able to fix you. So you have to be patiently persistent, and that can be especially difficult because healing isn't linear. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, but if you look at it over the long run, over spans of months or years, you should find that you're getting better, in a generally positive motion. Another step in not allowing infidelity to hold you back is using your anger effectively. Anger is a natural reaction to being cheated on. You've been wronged, and obviously you are going to feel great rage towards the person that did this to you. However, I encourage you to use that anger not just to tear your ex down, but to help to build yourself up. And perhaps the best way to do that is to first acknowledge what they have taken from you. Perhaps they took your innocence, your trust, your faith, years of your life, some of the security in your future. Recognize what they've taken from you, and then also recognize that it is your choice to not allow them to take anything else from you. And if you go forward remaining angry and bitter towards them, you're at that point the one who's giving that away. So use that anger, but use that anger to make sure that you're going to get better. Okay, so here's the hardest one, at least it was for me. At some point, in order to move forward, you have to view this as a learning experience. And it's difficult because, the natural reaction is, I had nothing to do with this. They're the ones that did all of this to me. And yes, it's absolutely true that they are the ones that made this decision. That is 100% on your partner that decided to cheat. But here's the harder part. You've got to let your ego down, got to let it go for a minute, and take a look at the bigger picture of the relationship and look for patterns, look for sort of that general environment, and start to look for things that you can learn from, that you can do differently going forward around. So if you view, the situation that happened to you as a learning experience, it helps to make it feel not so much like something that happened to you, takes you out of that victim role, and it also gives it some purpose as you move forward. And then this last one is perhaps one of the most powerful realizations that you can have. After you've been cheated on, your confidence and your ego and your just self-worth tends to take a huge, huge hit. You know, you're wondering, what did this other person have that I didn't have? How could I have been so unworthy that they decided to seek attention elsewhere? And here's the big aha moment. Why in the world would you allow somebody of questionable character to determine your worth? In a lot of ways, isn't it like letting a known embezzler set the price of gold? When you look at it that way, seems pretty silly, huh? You are so much better than what was done to you.